Hello everybody and welcome to this how-to video for Power BI. My name is Dirk Dekkers. I work as a Microsoft BI consultant for Kohera, and today I will walk you through how to import tables from multiple web pages by using a custom function. I will show you how to reference these tables by name, and for good measure we'll also throw in a bit of exception handling. So let's get started. As you can see, I have my Power BI file ready, and all of our work today will be inside the query editor, so let's click on edit queries right from the start. Alright, so what the example we'll be doing today is importing the current squad for each of the football teams that qualified for the 2018 World Cup. And as you can see on the left, my file already contains one table, and this table only contains the one column that's called team. And in it are the names of the countries that managed to qualify this year. So what we want to do next is then for each of these import the currently active players, but the easiest way to go about it is by starting with just one of them. So I will allow my chauvinism to take the wheel, and we'll start with Belgium. Alright. This is the webpage we'll be importing from. It's on Wikipedia, and specifically the Belgium national football team page. And as you can see here, we have a section called Current Squad, which looks very promising, of course. And well, this is exactly the information we want. So I will copy the link to this page. I will go back to the query editor, and here I will put in a new source, specifically web. And we can paste our URL here, click OK, and this will take us to a navigation pane, because we don't want the entire web page, we just want a section that's called Current Squad. And lucky for us, it's right at the top, and the name is very logical, so let's check this one and click OK again. And now Power BI will load the table that we were looking for. And as you can see, we took a couple of steps already, and they're put here on the right. So we started by going to a web page, the source, then we navigated to a specific section, and then Power BI tried to analyze the data type, and it changed a couple of them. We don't need this step, however, for now, although it's normally a good thing, so I will remove it. Okay. The next thing we want to do is create a variable, or as it's called, parameter in query editor, so we can iterate through the list of countries that qualified. So we do this by clicking on Manage Parameters and then New Parameter. We get to choose a name, and let's keep it logical, so I'll go for country. The data type will be text, and the current value I will put Belgium again, once more to keep things simple. So OK. And this is it, this is our new parameter, but let's return to the table for Belgium. And the next thing we want to do is we want to change our source. And we can do it here on the right. We can change this step right here by clicking this little symbol, or we can click on Advanced Editor, because this will show us the code that's actually behind these steps. And it's coded in the language M. So we can see step 1, source equals this web link, and then step 2 is going to a specific section. And then in the end we just say show us this section. But what we want to do here is we want to remove Belgium from our web link, so I will just delete it, and we want to put the parameter in its place. So we will make a cut in our string, then we will concatenate with an ampersand, type the name of our parameter, another ampersand, and reopen the string with double quotation marks. So when we click on Done Now, we expect nothing to change, because we removed the word Belgium and we replaced it with a parameter that's currently holding the value Belgium. So in the end we end up with the same link. Alright, so far so good. The next thing we want to do is apply these steps to the list of countries that qualified. But to do this, we first need to make these steps into a custom function. And it's actually quite easy. We can just right click on the table name and click on Create Function. We get to choose our own our name for this function ourselves, so let's go for get current squad. And then we click OK. So this looks good. We have now a folder that holds the table for Belgium, the parameter and the function, and then a separate folder that just contains the table with the qualified countries. So next up is adding a column to this table. So add column seems like a good choice then. We click on invoke custom function, and we have to put in again a name, so let's go for current squad for this added column. And we also have to choose a function query. Well, there's only one in our file because we only created one, so let's pick that one. And we also need to specify what gets put into our parameter country. Again, there's only one choice, it's just a column theme that we have, so let's pick it, click OK. And what we get now is a second column called current squad, and in this column will be a bunch of tables. And we could open this table separately and it will show us, hopefully, the current squad for the country that it's next to. But we can also just click on these double arrows at the top right, and this will expand the columns to show us the columns that's in this table as well. And then also expand the rows, so we have a separate row for each player for each of these countries. However, when we click on the double arrow now, we will notice that there's a bunch more columns. Most of them we didn't expect to find. And when this first occurred, I didn't really know what was going on. Took me a minute to find out. Luckily we can skip this and go straight back to our table for Belgium and to our query advanced editor. And we can see here that in the second step, where we navigate to the section, we say source 1. So when we were in the navigation pane, we put a check mark next to current squad, but it gets translated to a number. And I know for a fact that for Germany, for example, the current squad is not section 1, but it's section 35. So what we have in our table with the qualified countries is, for some we have the current squad, for others we have a whole different table that we don't need. So instead of referencing by number, we will change this, we will remove it, and we will reference by the caption of the table. So we put a square bracket, type caption, then equals, and then we will put the string, so double quotation marks, and then type current squad. You may have noticed that it also said between square brackets edit at the end of it, so we have to put it in as well, and then close our string with double quotation marks, and then close the entire caption with another square bracket. So when we click on done now, again we expect nothing to change, because we're still pointing to the same table, only now we do it by name instead of number. And the change we make in this table gets carried over automatically to our custom function, and in turn it carries over to the table with the qualified countries. And as you can see now, when we click on the double arrow, we only find the columns that we expect to find. So this looks very good. However, again, I will cancel, because when we now look more closely to our list, we will see that there's a couple of errors in here. For example, Mexico has one, Germany has one, Peru has one. And again, when this occurred the first time for me, it took me a bit to find out what was going on, but we can go straight back to the Belgium table, click on Advanced Editor, and what's happening really is that for some of those countries it's not current squad edit that's the caption, but it's, for example, just current squad, or current edit, or just current. I can show you one example for Germany. When you go to this web page and we scroll down a bit, you will find that it's just current, just current squad, no edit. Alright, what can we do about this? Well, we can specify more than one source or section, and I'm gonna cheat a bit because I've typed this out up front. Allow me to paste it here. There we go. So what we do now is we say data 1 contains the section called current squad edit. Data 2, contains current squad. Data 3 will be current edit, and data 4 will simply be current. And then we still need to pick which of these 4 we will be using, so we will put in a check for each of them, just like this. And we will create new variables called test for error 1, 2, and 3, and they will hold the value of sorts try data 1. So we say check if there's something in here, and if there is, this will be a sort of go ahead. If not, this will be an attribute called has error, or hold an attribute has error. Same goes for data 2 and test for error 2, and then try data 3 for test for error 3. And one more step we have to put in here is this one. So we have an if function, and we say if test for error 1 has an error, as well as test for error 2 has an error, as well as test for error 3 has an error, then we want data 4 to be our source. If this is not the case, but 1 and 2 do have an error, then we want data 3 to be our source. The logic continues. If test for error 1 has an error, then we want data 2 to be the source, and finally, if we get all the way through, we just take data 1 and that's it. And we say whichever of these outcomes it is, we will put it in our variable called output, and in the end we will say show us output. Alright, so let's click on done again. We once more expect nothing to change because it will check all 4 of those and then pick the correct one, and for Belgium we know that that's current squad edit. The changes get carried over again to our get current squad function and to the table with the qualified teams. And when we go back here now, we will notice that our list only contains tables, no more errors, so that's really good. And when we expand now, we still find the correct columns, so we can click OK. And here we go. This is the table we wanted from the start. You have each of the countries from our qualified list, and then for each of them we have a separate row for all of the players that are currently selected. So I can scroll down a bit, you can see we have Russia, Brazil, Iran, and so forth. So that's what we were going for. I hope you can use this knowledge in your future endeavors, and I'd like to thank you for watching, of course. We hope to see you again sometime later. Thank you.